Hayes is transcendent. It's a place where you know what you're going to get, you know what you're coming in for, you know that the results are going to be amazing.
And we are live in the Bronx at Cardinal Hayes High School. So glad you could join us. It's a battle of the boroughs. Brooklyn against the Bronx. The PSAL colliding with the Catholic League as South Shore makes the trip to the Bronx to face off with Cardinal Hayes. It is the Vikings and the Cardinals going head-to-head here in quite the matchup before both teams get set for the postseason in their respective leagues, right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Lance Meadow with you as we invite you and welcome you in to the broadcast booth. This is going to be a great matchup. South Shore is gearing up for the Borough Championships next week. They have played 7 non-league games. All of them have been highly contested. Cardinal Hayes, there's a stretch of 4 straight games in as many days. This is the second game of that stretch. They're looking to build off an impressive win yesterday over St. Raymond, 81-61, as they secured the 2nd seed in the Catholic League. So let's take a look at the impact players to set the stage for today's matchup. And we're going to start with the road team, South Shore, which boasts 3 players averaging double figures on the season. But we are highlighting 2 of their top scorers. And it starts with Levi Sylvester, who is one of the best players in the public school athletic league. You see his numbers, just over 12 points a game, just under 3.3 assists. He is a candidate for the Player of the Year in the PSAL and is receiving interest from NEC and MAC schools. Jaden King is right behind him with 10.5 points and nearly 8 rebounds. And he is a man that establishes their presence in the paint. Cardinal Hayes, we could sit here and highlight just about anybody on this team because they're so balanced and they are so good when it comes to their press defense. But today, the focal points are going to be a little bit in terms of the backcourt as well as the front court. And it starts with Amadou Barry, who is coming off a very strong performance yesterday. He had 19 points on 8 of 12 shooting. You see his numbers on the season, 15 and 6.5. He was so effective using his right and his left hand in yesterday's contest. And then Yancey only scored 2 points and was 0 for 4 from the field. But on the season, you see him in double figures with 12 a game, nearly 3 rebounds, and he is a sharpshooter. He can get hot at any moment and also set the tone with his stingy defensive presence. So those are the impact players. Now let's take a look at the keys to the game as we had an opportunity to speak with both coaches heading in to this contest. And as I mentioned, South Shore is looking at this as big-time motivation before they return to their PSAL slate, the Borough Championship. They got to contain Cardinal Hayes shooters. They've got to win on the defensive glass, prevent second-chance opportunities, and limit the turnovers because of that headache of a press that Cardinal Hayes showcases. For the Cardinals, it's February. It's no longer December. They need to be playing their best basketball. They have to keep Levi Sylvester, the leading scorer for the Vikings, in check and also protect the basketball across the board. We are inching closer to tip-off. We'll step aside as we gear up for South Shore at Cardinal Hayes on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
My second base language is Spanish. La cultura es todo. La cultura de Cardinal Hayes define el éxito. What I just said right now is that when you think about a Hayesman, you think of excellence. Excellence is culture, and that's what we're about.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights. But how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
And we are back here at Cardinal Hayes High School on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Thanks so much for spending part of your Friday evening with us, as this will be a battle between the Public School Athletic League and the Catholic League. Cardinal Hayes has won 3 straight, 11 of its last 12. South Shore comes in at 14-8 overall. They are still looking for their first non-league victory this season. They're 0-7, but 5 of those games have been decided by 5 points or less. So let's take you through the starting lineup. First for the visiting Vikings, and this is a team with 3 double-digit scorers. We highlighted Sylvester and King as our impact players. Josiah Greaves is a 5'8" senior guard who leads the team with 21 trifectas and shoots a team best 85% from the line. EJ Ukebu chips in with 6 points and 6 rebounds, and rounding out their group is Alfonso Blaze, the 6'4" senior. As the head coach is Nick Lopez in his second season, but this is his first season being the sole head man. Cardinal Hayes with their usual 5. They're going to go a little bit deeper in their rotation today, given this was a non-league game. We talked about Barry off the top as well as Yancey. Malik Fields just surpassed 1,000 career points. He had a team best 23 points in their 20-point victory yesterday over St. Raymond, which avenged the loss earlier this season back on December 12th, 69-53. This time around, they put up 81 on the board as we look at Joe Lodes in his 17th season, and he has done a magnificent job guiding this program. 354 career victories against 102 losses, and had an opportunity to catch up with him prior to the game. And the one thing that he said he's keeping close tabs on today is how quickly this group comes out of the gates. This is a non-league game. They are on the high of an impressive victory yesterday, which secured the number 2 seed in the Catholic League. But he wants to see the same intensity, despite the fact that there may not be as much on the line in a contest like this, because the goal is to be playing their best basketball as we knock on the door of March, as Nick Lopez, the head coach of South Shore, and he is trying to get this team squared away as they will be gearing up for a tough slate of games within the Brooklyn Borough Championship. There's a program that has done wonders in the Public School Athletic League, and they have been battle-tested this season. A lot of games that have come down to the wire. It's about them finishing in the fourth quarter. The officials, Chris Frastaglio, Chris Valores, and Desmond Frazier. And South Shore with possession to start. And Greaves short on the mid-range jumper. So Cardinal Hayes not wasting any time as they feed it inside to Yancey. trying to fight his way out of a double team here with 23 on the shot clock. The extra pass to Fields, in and out. And South Shore able to make an early defensive stop with now Sylvester in possession, their leading scorer, the 6-foot junior guard, a highly contested jumper. And there to secure the rebound is Brown. Brown knocked down 2 triples in the first quarter yesterday as he gets the feed from Barry, and good hands there by King to not allow him a clear path to the bucket. So the Vikings coming out with some defensive intensity, and now it's a matter of can they capitalize on the offensive end. A takeaway for Yancey as Barry delivers it inside to Fields. And South Shore able to get a deflection, but back in business is Cardinal Hayes, and Brown finds the bottom of the net just as he did early on in yesterday's victory over St. Raymond, and then a little too over-aggressive. They're going to get him on the reach-in, as that will be his first and the team's first. That was the 45th made three for Christian Brown on the season. That is second, 2 off the pace from Malik Fields. One of the best shooters in New York City. And when he is on, the opposition has their hands full. As right now, South Shore just looking to break down the full court press as they get the cross-court feed to King. And South Shore unable to get on the board here, trailing 3-0 as Yancey salvages the possession here. Spots up from the corner. And the long rebound goes into the hands of Brown. Fields caught underneath. He's going to go reverse. Cardinal Hayes still fighting for the loose ball, and Fields is able to save it. So another second chance opportunity. As they'll slow things down here with Yancey. All of his points came for the free throw line yesterday. Now Motivar bounces it to Barry. And the unfriendly rims here at Cardinal Hayes not cooperating for the Cardinals as Yancey gets his hand on the basketball. It's one-on-one on Sylvester, and Sylvester is going to survive that one. So the Vikings coming back the other way, still seeking their first make of the evening. And that is going to be a turnover that won't help the cause, as Anthony Pinato unable to hand the cross-court feed from Sylvester. As Nick Lopez going to his bench early on, as we see Jaden King getting a breather. Carmelo Blake in. And we're seeing a few new faces as play resumes here in the half-court set. Barry unable to find the stroke on that one, so he's going to deliver his own miss and float it through for a 5-0 Cardinal Hayes advantage. Barry with 19 points yesterday on 8 of 12 shooting. He was so efficient down low in the paint. Today, relying on his three-point range. As Jaden King returns to replace Pinato. Alfonso Blaze in possession. He's got a lot of length that he brings to the table in that backcourt. He's getting looks from various JUCO programs in his final year with the Vikings. Sylvester in and out of traffic, and he can't get it to roll his way. But off the ricochet, able to draw contact inside, and Sylvester will be heading to the free throw line. They're going to get Fields on the personal, and that is his first and the team's second. Sylvester is a 74% free throw shooter. Nick Lopez considers him a Swiss Army knife. He does a little bit of everything. And he finally gets the Vikings on the board. And he is keeping his options open as he gets set to take his talents to Division I college basketball in all likelihood next season. So he's able to capitalize by making both. Barry a difficult shot, and they're going to let that bounce out of play. And South Shore has an opportunity after a slow start here to get right back into this game. But Cardinal Hayes, despite the air ball, implementing that full court press. And the Vikings able to handle it with ease as Blaze banks it in. And we've got a 1-point game with 4.5 minutes to go in quarter number 1. So Blaze comes through with the first made field goal for South Shore. Fields a shot, blocked by the long reach of King. Their top rebounder, able to put his hands up to prevent one of the most lethal scorers in New York City from getting on the board for the first time, as Yancey picks the pocket of South Shore. And then from behind was fouled by Blaze. So that'll be his first. And that is going to be the team's first as well. And Joe Lodes wants to talk things over and regroup with his team leading by 1. And with a stoppage of play, we want to remind you that Cardinal Hayes High School is committed to providing an outstanding faith-based college preparatory education that prepares young men for success in college and beyond. Your support of tuition assistance ensures that every student has access to rigorous academics, strong mentorship, and life-changing opportunities. By scanning this code that you see on the screen, you are making a direct impact on the future of our students and our community. Thank you for your generous donation to Cardinal Hayes High School today. I'm so glad you could join us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network with Cardinal Hayes leading South Shore by 1. One team representing the Bronx, the other one, Brooklyn. As both of these teams are making sure they are in prime position for postseason basketball. And both of them are going to have their respective number 2 seeds. So out of the timeout here, we're seeing a 2-3 zone by the Vikings. And getting his hand on the basketball there was Blake on the entry pass. So that leads to another turnover, and we'll see whether or not South Shore could take its first lead of the evening here. Blaze is the only one to find the bottom of the net as they try to get it inside to Blake. Back the other way is Brown, and coming up sky high is Suleiman Cohn, unable to secure it. And off the dribble penetration is Blaze. A second chance opportunity here, and that is up and in for Ukebu. And with that, South Shore takes control of this game 6-5 as Joe Lodes taking a full timeout here as we take another look. Crashing the offensive glass was EJ for his first bucket. And a 1-point lead for a Vikings team that has gone through the gauntlet of non-league games this season. From November 26 to the present, they have had now 8 non-league games. Severian, West Catholic in Pennsylvania, Iona Prep, Elizabeth in New Jersey. They played Scanlon, which Cardinal Hayes is going to collide with coming up tomorrow. That was in the Jordan Holiday Classic. Gonzaga Prep out of D.C., and then Brandeis in the Real Scout Jamboree. And they came up short in all of those contests. So this is the latest test for them as they get set for what the PSAL has to offer. And 5 of those games that I just read through were decided by 5 points or less, including the game against Brandeis, which was a 1-point affair that they were on the wrong end of 63-62. So Nick Lopez, when I had an opportunity to catch up with him earlier in the week, he talked about they know they can hang with just about any team, whether it's a local or afar. It's just a matter of them fine-tuning their execution down the stretch late in these games. Right now, they are up by a point with just over 3 minutes to go in quarter number 1, and we're seeing them present full court press. That's the interesting thing about this matchup. Both of these teams rely on their press defense. And Cardinal Hayes able to handle it beautifully. Cone off the mark. It rattles into the hands of Czech Sam, and right off the bench, he's able to lay it in, plus the foul, with an opportunity to complete the 3-point play. As we see, he was in the right place at the right time to secure that basketball and put it through. So Sam did not play yesterday, as with it being a league game, Joe Lodes shortened his rotation. We're going to see Cone come out. Fields is back in. Sam is 10 for 10 on the season from the free throw line as he looks to maintain perfection and make it 11 of 11 as he is able to complete the three-point play. Greaves is able to swish it through with tight defense in his grill, and we are tied at 8 as South Shore matching wits with Cardinal Hayes here in the first 8 minutes of play. Sam wide open, in and out, and trapped underneath his Blaze, so Sam comes up with it, and that is a man on a mission as he is able to come through with a pair of field goals. So Sam with 5 of Cardinal Hayes' 10 points to lead the way for them. Blaze trying to escape the trap, and here comes Campbell with a clear path, and he stuffs it home as Cardinal Hayes pads its lead by 4. Quickly back the other way, Almodovar, and there for the denial is Greaves, who hustled back as Sam and Campbell went for the loose ball. And we're going to have a foul here on Cardinal Hayes as Campbell was a little over-aggressive there. So that'll be the first on him and the team's third. Nas Campbell, you give him an alley. He is going to take full advantage as they feed it inside to Pinato. He loses control of it. Yancey sacrifices his body, and off to the races we go with Fields the recipient of an easy lay-in for his first basket of the night. Sylvester not wasting any time. Can't get it to roll his way as the pace of this game picking up in a back-and-forth affair. Fields pulls up. And Sam again in the mix, bringing Blake to the floor. And they're going to have to separate those two, as it looked like it was ruled a jump ball before the extracurricular activities came into play. 2 of the 3 officials will confer here, and now it'll be the trio as they're going to talk things over to determine whether or not there was a foul involved, as Blake and Sam got tied up, hustling for the loose ball. It has been turnovers for South Shore that has opened up the floodgates here for Cardinal Hayes' transition game. So an official timeout here with Chris Rastaglio, Chris Valores, and Desmond Frazier still talking things over here. Whether or not there was a foul that came out of the tangle between Sam as well as Blake. And Blake is a 6'7" sophomore who you could see towards the left corner of the screen, number 21. He's quite the presence. They are very high on his upside, South Shore. They feel he could be a key contributor in his final 2 years with the program, as we see this powwow continuing to play out with the officials. And what we saw transpire between Sam and Blake is just another reminder. Listen, this could be a non-league game on the peripheral, but that doesn't mean that both of these teams are not treating it as if there is so much on the line. They understand when it comes to February, every game is of utmost importance because of the intensity that you're going to wind up seeing in your respective postseason. So the discussion ensues here. And Desmond Frazier is going to head over to Joe Lodes, while Chris Frastaglio chats with Nick Lopez to explain what the call is going to be.
Technical foul assessed to EJU of the Vikings.
So they're going to issue a technical foul here against EJ Ukebu. And that'll count as a personal foul as well. So Malik Fields is going to shoot. He is a 57% charity stripe shooter. And Fields makes 1 of 2. So he is at 3 points. And that will also result in Cardinal Hayes possession. So Ukebu, who was not involved in the tie-up but came in after, and that's when they had to separate both teams. That's what contributed to the technical foul. And now we have activity away from the ball underneath the basket as Campbell fell down. And this is going to be another personal against South Shore. So that's going to be another on Ukebu. So that is going to be his second. And Cardinal Hayes will now inbound underneath its own basket with Saleh Atariwa in with Sam, Campbell, and Fields. They've got a full shot clock to operate. Yancey tightly guarded by Sylvester as Itariwa tries to set a high screen. With just over a minute to go in the first quarter. Fields off the handoff, fires. And look at Sam again in the mix. And he somehow bounces it to Fields, who gives a nifty behind the back feed in the corner to Yancey, but a little too much mustard on that pass is going to contribute to a turnover. Czech Sam has been the storyline of this game. He did not play yesterday, and he is making up for it and then some in this contest as Sam is going to be called for the personal. So that is going to be number 1 on him and the team's 4th. This is Sam's first year on varsity after playing freshman ball last season, and Joe Lode says consistently he could be an X factor as Sylvester lost his footing as well as the basketball. And that is what has cost South Shore an opportunity to really try to take command of this game. It's the mishaps, both in the half court as well as not being able to break down the full court press. Fields goes cross court to the star of the game, Sam, with a nifty scoop shot as he continues to light up the scoreboard with 7 points and counting. And off the deflection out of play, it will stay with South Shore. So that is a new season high for Czech Sam, as his previous season high was 6. And we are not even a quarter into this game. Greaves is going to slow things down, and he breaks down the trap. So the Vikings looking to spread the wealth in the half court as they hold for the last shot with under 10 seconds to go. Sylvester, their top scorer on the season, he's been quiet. And this was last touched by the Cardinals. Sylvester is also their top facilitator. He does a lot of heavy lifting for this team. 3 seconds to go here for South Shore. And good hands there by Atariwa to prevent a clean inbounds for Blake. We'll see whether or not they adjust the clock here. And they're going to dwindle it down to 2 seconds. They get in the corner to King. He gets it off in time, but is unable to capitalize. A 17-8 advantage for Cardinal Hayes after the first 8 minutes of play. Christian Brown showcasing his range just as he did in yesterday's victory, and then Nas Campbell laying down the hammer as Cardinal Hayes using the full court press to their advantage as they lead by 9 in the early goings of this one on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Cardinal Hayes saved my life. There's a school that gave me the second chance. I want all families to understand the investment that you're making in your life. This is the place in which you walk in as a little boy and come out as a man. One thing I can guarantee you is education. One thing I can guarantee you is that he will go to college, but one thing that I can guarantee you the most, that I'm most proud of, is of the man that he will become in the day of tomorrow. Up Hayes and all its loyal men.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Back here inside Cardinal Hayes High School in the Bronx with the home team leading South Shore 17-8. As we get ready to start the second quarter, Sheikh Sam providing a lift off the bench as he is in to start the second with a team-high 7 points. Campbell, Atariwa, Yancey, and Fields round out their 5. South Shore on defense with King, Greaves, Sylvester, Blaze, and Blake. As they showcase that 3-2 zone now extended out to the perimeter. Atariwa skims the rim, and Fields last touched it. So we'll head back to the Vikings, who are looking to cut into this deficit with now Brown coming in to give Sam a breather.
For the Cardinals, Christian Brown.
4 different players with 2 points for the Vikings. Sylvester, Blaze, Ukebu, who picked up a technical in the first quarter, and Greaves. Here's Blaze threading the needle, and King just could not handle it. So turnovers continues to be a significant storyline in this game. And Cardinal Hayes has made the Vikings pay. And that was one of the keys that Nick Lopez talked about, the head coach of South Shore. You have to play clean basketball. You have to make sure you take advantage of each and every possession, because they are so effective in turning you over left and right. Yancey leaving it for Fields with 15 on the shot clock. Backing his way to the bucket and somehow gets it to rattle home with a defender on his hip. Fields is now up to 5. As Cardinal Hayes knocking on the door of 20. There's a team that averages 78 points per game. And they put up 81 in their victory yesterday. Greaves off the mark. The loose ball goes into the hands of Sylvester. And we're going to get a personal foul here against the Cardinals.
Foul committed by Soleil Atarawa, his first.
So Atariwa is going to pick up his first personal. They're going to say Sylvester was in the act of shooting. He's 2 for 2 from the line. That is his first miss of the day. All of his points have come from the charity stripe thus far as Barry re-enters and Campbell takes a seat for Cardinal Hayes. Barry shooting a team best 62% from the field coming in to this game. And while his teammate Malik Fields is going to be heading to Quinnipiac, Barry has picked up an offer from the Bobcats. So who knows, maybe they will reunite in a few years on the collegiate level. And you can't blame Quinnipiac for focusing on the talent here for Cardinal Hayes. As Barry short on the 3, the steal off the inbounds, and the double clutch maneuver by Yancey falls through to give him his first bucket. So Bryce Yancey, who only scored from the free throw line yesterday, is able to get a good look underneath as King overshoots the rim. It was last touched by Cardinal Hayes, and we see Ukebu return, and King is going to take a seat for South Shore. Ukebu is receiving interest from D2 and D3 programs. Nick Lopez commends him for his academics, a great student that gets the job done on and off the court. He compared him to Draymond Green as Greaves unable to float it through. And Barry called for the double dribble. But getting back to Ukebu, the reason why Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors was brought up as a comparison is because of his presence in the paint and the physicality in which he plays with. And we already saw a little bit of that in quarter number 1. South Shore trying to get into double figures. Yancey takes it away, up ahead to Brown, and the contest by Greaves, who got a hand on the ball, but there was also contact, as we'll take another look here. Greaves trailing on the play, and with his right hand, he denied Brown a clear pathway, as Brown was a bit shaken up, but it's good to see him get up under his own power. And Christian will shoot a pair. As Brown is a 77% free throw shooter. He's now 18 of 23 on the season. You can make it 19 of 24. Brown had 12 points to go along with 3 rebounds and 3 steals in the win over St. Raymond yesterday. As the Vikings break down the press yet again, Sylvester takes the contact but can't finish. Barry in transition lays it in with the left. Who says the big man can't run the court? And it's a 25-9 advantage for Cardinal Hayes. As Barry has 4 points, and you see his versatility. They rifle a pass to Ukebu, who slices through the D, but just can't get it to roll his way. So Almodovar spots up Brown, and unable to hit from long range. So South Shore dodges a bullet there, as that was a high percentage look for Brown. Can Sylvester get going for South Shore? He has 2 points at the free throw line, still looking for his first make, and it's not going to come there. Almodovar, the home run pass up ahead to Fields, and again Greaves with exceptional hustle to prevent a wide open look back on the other end, and that was last touch by Fields. So not only did he get the stop, but he created the turnover. Ukebu taking over point guard duties and is going to leave it till Sylvester. South Shore looking for a spark on offense. Greaves has made his presence felt on defense, and it's not going to come on offense. Good looks, just unable to get the ball to roll home. Rebound goes to Fields. The kick out to Brown, and he makes South Shore pay. Christian Brown with his second 3. He is up to 8 points, and it is a 19-point lead for the home team, which has showed a balanced attack inside and outside. Christian Brown hit a pair of 3s yesterday. He's back to his old tricks 24 hours later. Sylvester trying to put Cardinal Hayes in the spin cycle. Blaze well off the mark. And Cardinal Hayes not taking its foot off the pedal. Unselfish basketball. Field switches hands. Barry looking to clean up. And Amadou will head to the free throw line. As we see Fields, the soft touch, but it did not bounce through, and then Barry was there with Bryce Hardy picking up the personal. So Barry, an 80% free throw shooter, as he swishes in the first. This is his first trip to the line, as we're going to get hockey line changes now for Cardinal Hayes, as Joe Loads, as he talked about, going a little bit deeper into the bench. Sam and Cone in with Campbell, as well as Emmanuel Romero, and Barry at the line rounds out the 5. And Barry stays perfect. So he has 6 points. And now Brandon Bird will replace Barry. So a fresh 5 in for Cardinal Hayes. South Shore also mixing in the bench. As it's now Sylvester, Blaze, Greaves, Ukebu, and Hardy, the junior forward, who's making his 13th appearance this season. It's a South Shore team that in non-league games averages 50 points. And now Greaves will head to the bench. And in for him is Clifford Gideon, sophomore point guard, who's a pesky defender and a high-energy player. And that's exactly what they need right now to try to get back into this game, as Blaze wiggles out of the trap and leaves it for Sylvester with under 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Gideon averages just over 3 points a game as they have 7 on the shot clock. Blaze pulls up with a defender in his face, and he is able to capitalize with a huge triple to stop the bleeding for the Vikings. So Blaze has 5 of his team's 12. And he comes in averaging just under 8 a game as Romero off the dribble drive draws contact. And they got to get the foul on Hardy. That'll be his second. That is also the third against the team. Cone is going to inbound as that was on the floor. Romero, Bird, and Sam, who were in the game, did not play yesterday. Bird pulls up from the elbow. And there to clean it up again is Sam. He tries to throw it off of Hardy to no avail. They get it inside to Blaze, and he is able to absorb the contact and will now head to the line. Was fouled by Campbell. That's number 2 on Campbell and the second on the team, as we see the feed came across the lane from Ukebu. Blaze, a 74% free throw shooter. This is his first trip to the line. And you can see with that 6'4" frame, that gives them a lengthy ball handler in the backcourt who comes in handy in a game like this when they see a lot of full court press. Blaze has 7 points, matching his average. Romero pulls up in the lane and bounces it in. So Emmanuel Romero getting on the board for the first time, and then comes up with the steal. So trying to turn defense into offense, and does so with the beautiful pull-up J. And hearing it from the crowd is Romero with a quick 4-0 spurt all by himself. Hardy wisely kicks it out of traffic. Blaze the runner. And Sam is there for yet another rebound. Sam searching for an opening. Romero off the bounce. And he can't make it 3 straight baskets. He came very close. A 20-point lead for Cardinal Hayes is Romero charged with the blocking foul while defending Sylvester. So Romero picks up his first, and that'll be the team's third here in the second quarter. As Blaze will take a seat for the Vikings. Greaves back in. Blaze has been doing the heavy lifting on offense. He's got half of South Shore's points. Now we're going to see Jaden King return. And Ukebu will head to the bench. Greaves gets it back. You see this swarming defense by Romero as Sam comes over for help. And that is going to be a backcourt violation, and over and back. It was not deflected by Cardinal Hayes. And this has been an issue that has plagued the Vikings all throughout this first half, the turnovers. You think about the lost possessions, And when you only score 14 points, you need every bit of an opportunity. Bird pulls up, and Sam gets a piece of it, but he was the last to touch it. And the one thing about Cardinal Hayes, even off a miss, they're going to press. And Sam nearly comes up with the steal. So South Shore with now 30 to toy with on the shot clock is going to once again try to break down this press. As everybody backs off with the exception of Sam. And now you're going to see Cone come over for the trap. The extra pass, they get it out to Gideon, well off the mark. Bird saves it as they whip it around. Campbell back to Bird. The touch feed to Campbell. He cannot push it through, and we're going to get a jump ball, and the possession arrow is going to head the opposite way. Outstanding hustle by Chek Sam, the 6'4" forward, who in his sophomore campaign has been all over the place today. And Bird comes up with the steal, but he did not keep his frame in play. So the shot clock is off here for South Shore. They could hold for last licks. Let's see what Nick Lopez decides to do as Blaze comes in. Gideon takes a seat. Greaves will do the honors. Here's Sylvester on Bird. Sylvester with the drop step, and putting up the brick wall is Sam for the denial. What has Chek Sam not done in this game? He has scored, he's rebounded, he's hustled, he's blocked shots. And with 19 seconds to go, South Shore is going to regroup. They're going to utilize a full timeout here. And a reminder, you can subscribe to the Varsity Media Sports Network YouTube page to check out all of our broadcasts, as the postseason is going to be here before you know it. And we are going to have full coverage across the New York metropolitan area. And with this pause in the action, a reminder that parents, coaches, and booster clubs, if you'd like coverage of your team on Varsity Media, you can contact us today to book a SPORTSCAST. Your team deserves the best coverage with the best announcers. They told me to read that. I was not campaigning for myself. Let me make that clear. Any team at any level can book by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. And while we have a break in the action, we also want to give a shout-out to John Duffy, who the court is named after here at Cardinal Hayes, the number retired up by the scoreboard, who treated us and our crew to a nice meal before the game. Can't thank him enough for supporting this basketball program as well as the Varsity Media Sports Network. And we also want to thank our colleagues, Dylan and Chris, yesterday, who did the heavy lifting, placing the order, but not able to reap the rewards as Code gets it up ahead to Bird. Out of traffic here with 11 seconds remaining. King comes out of the pile. Sylvester inside to the cutting Hardy, and the lead is on strongly for South Shore's rim as Sam, that was maybe the only thing that did not cooperate in his favor in the first half, as he put his stamps all over this court. As Cardinal Hayes will head back to the locker room with a 20-point advantage, 34-14, with very strong play from the bench for the Cardinals. And we now bring in the head coach of Cardinal Hayes, Joe Lodes, with his team leading by 20. Joe, I was talking to you before the game, and one of the things you mentioned was going deeper into the rotation. Well, you're a man of the people here, as he is greeted by a number of fans here courtside.
I tell that kid Kaba, if it doesn't work out for me, he can go to Hollywood and be in scary movies. Strange-looking character.
Well, you can scout talent, whether they're on the court or off the court. We want to commend you for that.
I told him I'll always have a job Halloween time, I told him.
There you go. You're a Renaissance man, Joe. I don't need to tell you that. You know from your 17 years guiding the program as well as anything else that we could throw your way. With respect to the bench, obviously you went deeper into the rotation. Czech Sam, who did not play yesterday, right out of the gates, he has done a little bit of everything. How much have you liked the energy that he's brought to the table here in the first half?
Czech is an excellent player. He's got a lot of energy. You know, he's all over the court. He doesn't even realize what a good player he can be. But he's got tremendous upside, and it's nice that he gets his minutes here. The game got a little chippy there a little bit, but you know, boys will be boys. It's Friday night, 6 o'clock. You know, they're all waiting for their chicken-colored Parmesan heroes. Thanks to Mr. Duffy. I saw some sauce on your shirt earlier.
That's right. Yeah, I cleaned up nicely before the broadcast. Yeah, so you caught me at the wrong hour of the game. Yes, but we certainly appreciate that astute observation as they feed us nicely, just as much as the team. The full court press, Joe, has been such a huge staple of your team. That's nothing new, but how much did that establish the tone and fluster South Shore in holding them to 14 points?
Well, you can see they don't like the pressure that we're putting on them. But we're a little lackluster. I think the St. Ray's game yesterday took a lot out of us, just emotionally, and you know, it was glad to clinch second. And I think the guys partied a little bit too much last night. You see, a couple guys look a little hungover today, but. You know, the chippiness of the game has kind of woke us up a little bit. You know, all of a sudden, we look like we drank Red Bull. I see their faces in the huddle. All of a sudden, they want to play, put me in. So I think we're way under our usual point total with 34, but I think we're going to shoot the ball well in the second half.
Well, but certainly from a defensive standpoint, right on point. The basketball coming to the table, that may be a good sign to allow you to rejoin the team and get them geared up for those chicken Parmesan sandwiches after the game, Joe. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Duffy.
Absolutely. Joe Lodes with us here at the break, reflecting on his team's 20-point lead, 34-14. As we will step aside and come back and reflect on our observations for the first half with Cardinal Hayes in control of South Shore on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
We live in a community in which every other option is available except the right option. And this school became the right option for me. My mom said to me, all I want from you is for you to graduate from St. Patrick's Cathedral. Y gracias a Dios, en el clase de 2017, yo me caminé en el San Patricio y vi los ojos de mi madre. Yo llorando la abracé y le dije gracias por esta oportunidad.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
My second base language is Spanish. La cultura es todo. La cultura de Cardinal Hayes define el éxito. What I just said right now is that when you think about a Hayesman, you think of excellence. Excellence is culture, and that's what we're about.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
There's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! Profeta! 1-0! Garden City!
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Hey parents, coaches, and players, ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job in exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media has been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face-on, stay-on athlete. Controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Start of the third quarter here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Lance Meadow with you as Cardinal Hayes out in front of South Shore by 20. Balanced attack for the Cardinals. Checksam, very impressive in the first half, and Barry gets the scoring started as he turns and lays it in. So the third make for Barry, who had 6 points in the first half, and then Yancey colliding with Blaze right at midcourt. So that'll be number one on Yancey and the team's first here in the third. Just 14 points for South Shore in the first two quarters. And their top scorer, Levi Sylvester, was held to just 3. All coming from the free throw line, as now Brown is going to pick up a personal. So that is number 2 on him and the team's second. As Sylvester, who I was talking about with the 3 made free throws, averaging 12 a game on the season, and Blaze went over the line before cleanly inbounding it, so that'll be yet another turnover for the Vikings. And that has completely disrupted their offensive flow. The team that has looked so good in PSAL play, really the only team that they've had trouble with on the season is Barry. Can't lay it in. Has been Eagle Academy, who they lost to 71-44 on January 17th. But in their last 7 league games, they're 6-1, including 3 straight wins over boys and girls, Wagner and Curtis. And the last 2 teams calling Staten Island home is Sylvester cannot connect with Greaves. As you've heard me say it many times throughout this broadcast, the mishaps just piling up. It's not as if South Shore has not been able to get looks at the basket. It's just the offense has been disjointed because they can't put together a string of clean possessions. And Cardinal Hayes' defense deserves a lot of credit in the half court as well as their full court press. Fields with 5 points in the first half, leading scorer on the season with 18 a game. Also leads the team in rebounds and steals. And shoots a team best 44% from beyond the arc. He's putting himself amongst some of the all-time greats that have come through this program. Barry, the step back. And Greaves is going to look to jumpstart this offense as he goes coast to coast. And the awkward maneuver falls short. Almodovar off to the races, with Fields shuffling it underneath to Barry and facilitating for another high percentage look for Cardinal Hayes' big man. As he is in double figures with 10, and Blaze loses control of the basketball. We don't have an official tally, but it is safe to say that South Shore has more turnovers than points at this point. And that is never a good ratio to have on full display. Fields goes backdoor, and the beautiful feed from Almodovar. So on the last possession, Fields set up Barry, and now this time he's the recipient of a great look. And off the steal, it's a 3-on-1 break. Yancey takes it himself as Brown tries to get a second chance. Ukebu kept him away. Greaves, a wide open look. And it has been that type of an evening for the Vikings. Almodovar gets it in the corner to Brown. As Barry and Blake fighting for position. And Sylvester will slow things down in the half-court set. Fields with him every step of the way as the top scorers for each team going at it. Ukebu overshoots the rim, and Barry not wasting any time, leaving it for Almodovar, as this was last touched by Hector. So it will head back to the Vikings. But South Shore first taking a 30-second timeout. with 5:12 to go in the third quarter. And with a stop in the action, reminder that Cardinal Hayes High School is committed to providing an outstanding faith-based college preparatory education that prepares young men for success in college and beyond. Your support of tuition assistance ensures that every student has access to rigorous academics, strong mentorship, and life-changing opportunities. By scanning this code that you see on screen, you are making a direct impact on the future of our students in our community. Thank you for your generous donation to Cardinal Hayes High School today. As we are here in the Bronx, Cardinal Hayes led by 20 at the break, 34-14. It's a 6-0 run to start the third quarter for the home team. And it has been their transition opportunities off of takeaways. But Sylvester will inbound here out of the timeout with Blaze, Greaves, Ukebu, and Blake. Sylvester spinning off of Yancey, and he follows his own miss as Barry came in to fluster him, but could not stop his pursuit to the basketball. And that is Sylvester's first made field goal of the day. Their top scorer finally able to see the ball go through the hole. Almodovar pulls up, and it bounces right to Fields as they work it around the perimeter here. Cardinal Hayes trying to milk some clock. Fields muscling his way to the basket around Greaves. And they're going to get Greaves with the personal. So that'll be his second and the team's first here in the third. From the corner, Brown with Blaze in his face, and it makes no difference as you could ring that up from beyond the arc. And off the inbounds, Yancey comes up with it. South Shore trying to box out. Barry making it a third trip as he still controls the basketball. How about a fourth? And finally earns a trip to the line as Cardinal Hayes relentless on the offensive glass. They're going to get the second personal against Blaze, and Barry will head to the line for the second time today. He's 2 for 2 and 80% on the season. So he stays perfect, 3 for 3. Barry nearly had a double-double yesterday with 19 points and 9 boards. And he is back in double figures today. 12 points for him. And it's a commanding 45-16 lead. Sylvester across the lane gets it to Blake. And South Shore just unable to finish around the rim consistently today. As that was a great look for their big man, Carmelo. Speaking of the front court, Barry can't push it through. And South Shore able to hold them to just one shot on this possession. Greaves the runner. Fields comes in and rolls it to Almodovar off the crossover, and that cooperates his way as Hector is able to get his first basket of the day. And they're going to hold up play here and have a conference before issuing a personal foul. So we take another look at Almodovar creating his own shot in transition and able to float it through. So that was the third team foul against South Shore. And Cardinal Hayes here back in business with just over 3 minutes to go in the quarter. It's been Christian Brown and Amadou Barry leading the way, each at double figures, combining for 23, as Yancey gets called for an offensive foul. That is number 2 on him, and the team's third. A South Shore team that averaged 50 points in non-league games coming in has been held in check to 16. Blake picks up the offensive foul. That is number 1 on him, and you combine the turnovers with the fouls, and that's a big reason why they have not been able to get to 20 points thus far. Barry left all alone, and he is able to take advantage of the additional space. So Amadou Barry doing it all, adding now a 3 to his resume with 15 points on the day. King off the crossover is able to bank it in to give South Shore 4 points here in the third quarter, as that was the first make for King. Barry was thinking about another 3. And he is gliding his way to the bucket and unable to get it to bounce in. So off the stop, here's Blaze in and out of traffic with the left hand. And Fields with the one-handed rebound, leaves it to Brown, up ahead to Yancey. Textbook transition basketball, as quickly back the other way. Blake was left all alone for his own layup, as the pace starting to pick up here. Greaves with the takeaway as we hit 1.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. South Shore has been outscored 18-6. King skims the rim. The home run pass from Fields to Yancey will not lead to an easy bucket. Sylvester on the move, and in attack mode, he is able to lay it in. So Sylvester has 7. Now Motivar wisely will set up in the half court here. Their top facilitator with nearly 5 dimes per game. Yancey drawing the contact en route to the bucket, as Greaves got a hand in the way. So that'll be number 3 on him, and the team's 5th. Yancey to the line for the first time today. He was 2 for 4 yesterday in the win over St. Raymond. 64% on the season. As we're going to get those hockey line changes once again. Sam and Atariwa, as well as Bird, enter the game. Almodovar, Fields, and Brown will get breathers. And Yancey makes 1 of 2. So Cone will replace Yancey. And Campbell rounds out their 5. They bounce it inside to Blake, who gets a ring around the rosy to finally solve the riddle underneath. Blake surpassing his season average of 3 points with 4. And Cone was pressed a little too aggressively by Sylvester. So that is going to be his first, and that'll lead to 16 fouls for South Shore. So that is going to put Cardinal Hayes automatically at the line. Cone, a 55% free throw shooter. He has not scored thus far today. And now he is officially on the board. Suleiman Cone is the energizer bunny of this team. Can't tell you how many times he's come off the bench and has just been electric. Yesterday he had 14 points to go along with 2 assists. And he has his first 2 points of the day here. And he has really elevated his game. Last season averaged 7. Nice feed from Sylvester to Blake. King got a hand on it, but Campbell comes out of it with possession. Bird from the corner. Atariwa off the offensive glass. And the football player muscles his way inside for a second chance opportunity as Sylvester unable to float it in at the buzzer. Everybody putting on the uniform for the Cardinals today, able to show up on the scoreboard with a 57-24 advantage. And Christian Brown is one of two players in double figures thanks to 3 threes. Barry joining the party as well, and Yancey out into the open court as we step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
The core of what we do is informed by our Catholic faith.
Faith is something that permeates the building.
I would say a majority of our students are not Catholic.
I myself am not a practicing Catholic.
Even though the kids may not be Catholic, they're being formed by those character building values that come from the Gospels, that come from what Jesus taught us.
We really leaned into our faith and our perseverance of Hayes and all its loyal men.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Fourth quarter getting underway here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Lance Meadow with you here in the Bronx with Cardinal Hayes in command. 57-24. Sylvester the double clutch. Ukebu got a piece of it. And again, they are slipping and sliding as Ukebu gets it back and is able to beat Atariwa to the spot. So Ukebu is up to 4 points. 12 points total in the second half for South Shore, as they had 14 in the first 2 quarters, and Gideon knocks it out of the possession of Cone. We're going to see Emmanuel Romero return to the game. And he will replace Fields. And Romero already going to work. They go inside to Atariwa. He's double teamed. It's a skirmish for the ball. And we're going to say that it will stay here. No, initially it looked like it was going to stay with Cardinal Hayes. It's going to head back to South Shore. They're going to say Atariwa touched it last. Sylvester out of the pack, and we had contact up the sideline. Bird picks up his first personal. That is the first on the team. Atariwa, who could not maintain possession on the last play. I mentioned that he's a dual athlete for his prowess on the football field as a tight end. I had the pleasure of calling one of his games this season as Greaves short, and he tracks down his own miss, and Cone nearly took it away. So Gideon regroups here with 30 on the shot clock. King slashing and fouled by Bird. So Bird picks up 2 quick ones. And that'll also be the second against the team. So we're going to see King head to the line. He's a 66% free throw shooter. And he's receiving interest from D1 and JUCO programs, the second leading scorer on the season with 10.5 per game. And King has been held to just 2 points today. He's their top rebounder, and he's so good on the offensive glass. He came in today with a team-high 28 offensive boards, but he misses both free throws. And speaking of offensive rebounds, Ukebu is able to salvage the possession, and it will stay with South Shore. And Sylvester leaves it to Greaves. Greaves kicks it out to Sylvester, and nothing but net for Levi, who is trying to get back into rhythm. That is his first triple. And Bird then draws contact right at the free throw line. So Greaves is going to pick up his fourth, and that'll be the team's first here in the fourth quarter. So Sylvester with that 3 is now up to 10. He's the first player in double figures for South Shore, knocking on the door of his season averages. There was a tie-up with Ukebu getting in the mix, and a foul as well. It's going to go against Cardinal Hayes. They're going to get a Tariwa with his second personal. So it's been hard for either team to gain some flow on offense just because of the nonstop stoppages of play. As we see Joe Loads change his 5, Yancey, Barry, Fields, Almodovar, and Brown back in as Yancey will head back to the line. So Sylvester picks up his 3rd. That's the team's 2nd. Yancey's 1 of 2 from the line today. 64% on the season. As Yancey was looking to bounce back today after only scoring 2 points from the free throw line. He also fouled out, and he makes 1 of 2 here. So he's 2 for 4 from the line, just like he was yesterday. Ukebo gliding to the basket and drawing contact against Cardinal Hayes. Going to get Barry with his first. So the theme of stoppages of play continues. Ukebo is going to head to the line for the first time. He's a 79% free throw shooter. And he has had his hands full today with the length of Barry, Atariwa, as well as Brown. But here he comes up with a pair of free throws. Brown from the corner. And Greaves coming up with yet another rebound. The lowest total in non-league games for South Shore, as that is a nifty finish for Sylvester, who is starting to heat up. Was 39 in a loss at West Catholic. They're now at 33, and Barry is called for the offensive foul. He used that guide hand for leverage against Ukebo, and that'll be the 2nd on Barry. So that is already the 15th foul against Cardinal Hayes, and we still have 5.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And keep in mind, on the 16th foul, we automatically go to the free throw line. So that could be perhaps an opportunity for South Shore to add to its tally. As the Vikings break down the press, Blaze back in now with Sylvester, King, Gideon, and Ukebo, who gets the feed on the interior from Blaze and gets Barry up in the air. So Amadou now with 3 quick personals after having no fouls coming into the quarter. So that was the 16th foul, and now we're in the bonus. So let's take a look as Blaze threaded the needle, and Ukebo went straight up. Barry was arguing that he kept both of his hands upright. Rasheed Wallace said the ball doesn't lie, and maybe Amadou has a point here. As Ukebo is now 2 for 3 at the stripe. And you can make it 3 of 4. So Ukebo is up to 7. Fields off the dribble. And he got his man up in the air. And he'll be the latest recipient to shoot free throws. As you're going to see, Jaden King, picking up the personal. That is number 1 on him, the team's 3rd. Fields, 57% on the season. He is 2 for 3 today. And Fields now up to 9 points. Average is 18. They have not needed him to do a lot of the heavy lifting, as it has been a balanced attack as Gideon gets it inside to the cutting Ukebu, and guess what? More free throws. As Cardinal Hayes over the limit. So that is number 4 on Barry. And Ukebu, who is 3 for 4, has an opportunity to inch closer to double figures. As that one rolls his way. Campbell is going to check in. Barry will take a seat. Nas had an emphatic dunk early in this game, as Ukebu hits both. So 5 of his 9 have come from the line. Motivar doing a great job breaking down the press, but Brown can't handle it. And here's Sylvester spinning towards the basket. There to clean it up is Ukebu. The tip-in attempt by King doesn't fall. And Cardinal Hayes quickly back the other way. Wheeling and dealing here, as they'll look to milk some clock as we reach the 4.5-minute mark. Yancey gets it to Almodovar. And a strong rebound for King. Their high flyer crashing the glass as Fields dove in for the loose ball that Blaze couldn't handle, but they're going to get a foul on Fields. So that'll be number 2 on him. And remember, they're over the limit, so now more free throws coming up for the Vikings. And that's what happens every time Cardinal Hayes commits a personal from this point on. You stop the clock, and you give South Shore an opportunity to, little by little, chip into this deficit. As Blaze is a 74% free throw shooter. He stays perfect at the line, 3 for 3. So they have now surpassed, or I should say they're knocking on the door of that season low of 39 points as Fields off the miss from Brown is going to give Cardinal Hayes yet another opportunity. 39, the season low in non-league games for South Shore. Right now they're at 38. As you can tell, Cardinal Hayes just trying to milk the shot clock with 17 to work with. Fields looking to get into double figures. And a long rebound tracked down by Campbell, who's going to pull up for the tray. And Fields comes in out of nowhere and banks it in, plus the foul. The top scorer still hustling with just over 3 minutes to go as Malik Fields showcasing his athleticism and putting it on full display. Fields is 3 for 4 at the stripe. And you can make it 4 of 5. $12 points for him. And Sylvester able to save it. Out to Greaves, off the pump, resettles. And it bounces right to Blaze. A pair of missed threes. And Blake is there underneath. And he is able to draw the foul. So Yancey is going to pick up his third personal. This is Blake's 7th appearance on the season. He averages 4.5 rebounds per game, and we've seen him chip in that department. And he makes one of two. Campbell got the better of Blake there, and Blake had no choice but to reach in. So that'll be number 2 on Blake. At this rate, we're looking to set the Catholic and PSAL record for most fouls in a quarter. Campbell, 17% from the line this season. Not his strong suit, but there, able to float it up and in. And he goes well against the average. From the corner is Greaves. Too much on that one. Brown, the quick pass up ahead to Campbell, who gathers himself and feeds it back inside to Brown, who draws yet another foul against South Shore. So that's number 3 on Blaze. Both teams are over the limit. And now Brown to the line, where he is a 77% free throw shooter. Brown is 3 for 3 from the stripe today. And he remains perfect. Brown has 13 points. And South Shore now turning to Kervin Mulrain in for the first time with Blaze, Sylvester, Blake, and King. Sylvester, the runner, and he is able to call glass for assistance for another bucket. So Sylvester, who is contained in the first half, has filled up the stat sheet here in the second half, and Brown has done the same with his 4th tray to now push his total to 16. Christian Brown digging into his bag of tricks from long range. King twirling and swirling, but unable to finish. Yancey up top to Campbell, and Brown is there for an offensive rebound. So Cardinal Hayes will still have this possession to work with, as Cone could not dial it up long range, and then Campbell coming in out of nowhere again, unable to secure it. It'll be South Shore basketball, as Yancey and Fields will take a seat. The 5 now in for the Cardinals. Bird, Romero, Cone, Brown, and Campbell. Greaves off the pump. He gets it to Mulrain, their junior wing, and Blake comes in to grab the air ball and bank it in. So you were seeing all 6'7" of the sophomore's frame go to work. And Brown could not make it 5 trifectas, and it was last touched by South Shore. So we'll stay with Cardinal Hayes, as we are under a minute and a half to go in this one. Romero off the dribble, and he kisses it off the glass for a deuce. Romero has 6, as the bench has responded for Cardinal Hayes, specifically the group of players that did not get in yesterday against St. Raymond. Greaves skims the rim, and Bird fouled from behind. This is going to go against Mulrain. So that is number 1 on him. And now Bird will earn a trip to the line. He's 81% on the season. Bird is the lone player yet to score that has entered the game for Cardinal Hayes. So he is looking to complete the group, and he does so. So every Cardinal Hayes player has scored today. as the sophomore guard capitalizes on a pair. Bird, second-generation player here at Cardinal Hayes with his father, Tom Murray, suiting up for the Cardinals, and that'll be a potential three-point play here coming for Carmelo Blake, who with Levi Sylvester is heated up here in the final 2 quarters. Campbell there for the rebound with under a minute to go. Campbell pulls up from long range. King will take it himself around Cone, and they're going to get a blocking foul on Suleiman. And they're going to say now the foul was on Campbell. And now they're going to switch it because the ref held up 5, and it was announced as 5, but clearly Cone was the one that blocked. So they settled that at the scorer's table. That'll be his first. And here is King at the line. King is 0 for 3 today from the stripe. 66% on the season. And South Shore will look to bounce back after this one as they gear up for the Brooklyn Borough Championship. And how about crashing on the offensive glass for Mulrain, who comes in averaging less than a point, and he's got his first field goal of the evening. Final 20 seconds of this one. Greaves wins the battle with Campbell and turns defense into offense late in this one. He's up to 4 points. Bird going strong to the rim. And we are not yet finished with this one, as Bird, who is 2 for 2 from the line, will have an opportunity for more chances. And Bird, similar to Sam and Cone, has been another player who we've seen multiple times come off the bench and take full advantage of his minutes. It may not show up in the stat sheet today, but the resume is well documented as Bird is 4 for 4 from the line. And that has accounted for all of his points. The chest pass up ahead to Blake knocked out a play by Bird. So how about Bird hustling back after hitting a pair of free throws to prevent a wide open look underneath? And that's what Joe Lodes likes to see, even in games that are well decided. Tariwa got a piece of that, and then it was touched last by Mulrain as he was underneath on the baseline. So Campbell is going to dribble it out. And back-to-back victories in as many days for Cardinal Hayes. 76-49 the final as they make it 4 straight and 12 of their last 13, with 2 more games coming in the next 2 days as this team looked the part with a win in league play over St. Raymond yesterday, and then a non-league victory here 24 hours later against one of the best teams in the PSAL, holding them to 49 points on defense and putting up 76 to balance out the offense. We'll step aside. Post-game reaction coming up next here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
There's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta. Fafetta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Back here in the Bronx, Cardinal Hayes High School, as the Cardinals cruise to a 76-49 victory over South Shore for their fourth straight victory, as they have now won 12 of their last 13. We're now joined by the player of the game. There were 3 players that scored in double figures, but we wanted to talk to Czech Sam, who was electric off the bench with 7 points, and you can see Czech getting support from your teammates. I want to start with you because you didn't play yesterday in the victory over St. Raymond. How much did you stay ready and look to capitalize on your opportunity today?
I got my teammates with me. They told me to stay ready every time I'm on the bench, and I just get in the game and play hard.
How important was it after a nice league victory yesterday, even though this was a non-league game, to set the tone early on both ends of the floor?
It was a good win. We needed that win yesterday to stay in second place, and St. Ray's beat us, so we had to get back and beat them back by 20.
You were all over the place on the offensive glass. I mean, that's a big part of who you are in terms of your identity of a player. Why do you love getting down and dirty, for the lack of a better phrase?
My coach, John, telling me to be a dog, hustle, great rebounds, defense, and I try to do that.
The press, the full court press, has been a huge staple for you and your teammates. How much do you feel that contained and flustered this South Shore backcourt this afternoon?
That helped us a lot. The team, they started panicking, and they fall under pressure, and we score every time.
As you get down the stretch of the season, where would you assess, Czech, where this team is as you're knocking on the door of the playoffs right now?
We on top. We was started off bad, 0-3, but we practice every day. We play hard, and now it shows.
Before I let you go, you have 2 more games in as many days. There's a stretch of 4 straight games in 4 days. How much is this going to be a statement stretch for you and your teammates as you round out this weekend?
We're going to try to win every single game this weekend. Senior night on Tuesday for my seniors right here, Malik and Nas. Try to win that game for them before they leave.
Absolutely. An added exclamation point to what has been an impressive season. Well, Czech, congratulations on your personal achievement today, as well as you and your teammates on the victory. Thanks so much. As we protect the headphones, and his teammates all smiles as they spray him accordingly. Czech Sam with a very impressive performance off the bench. Really, the entire bench put their stamps all across the board, but we wanted to highlight Czech Sam, who had 7 points, and he did not waste any time going to work in the early stages of this one, as we see Greaves put it in for South Shore. Nas Campbell stuffing it home, as he was another key contributor in the mix, and even Emmanuel Romero we saw pull up for a handful of jumpers, with Bryce Yancey of the starters, electric in transition, and every time it looked like South Shore had an opportunity, Cardinal Hayes responded, including that man, Malik Fields. That is going to wrap up coverage from the Bronx. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director, Becca Kazaks. For our camera operator, Kevin Catalanato, I'm Lance Meadows, signing off from Cardinal Hayes High School. The final score once again, the Cardinals cruise past the Vikings 76-49 for their 4th straight win. We are signing off here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.